Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending upon where you are in the world. This is a Thursday night, so it is Table Talk Thursdays. And I'm waiting for Facebook to catch up so I can do everything that I need to do. There we go. Here we are. All right, give me just a second, guys. Let me just get this up here. There we go. Whoops. Did I hit enter? I did. Okay. There we go. All right. Well, welcome. I am Elyse Ann Psychic, and this is Table Talk Thursdays. And tonight, our topic is manifestation. It's not a secret. So I'm still setting up here. I don't know if you have been with me prior, but hi, Mary. Welcome. Tony moderates on my Wednesday Psychic Mini Reading Lives. But tonight, hi, Natalie. Tonight, she's just out there. She is sharing for me, and she may participate, but I'm on my own, so I'm going to be tracking all the comments and things. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Hello, Kirsty. How are you? Welcome, welcome. So if you're new to me, I'm Elyse Ann Psychic, the Psychic Liaison, Bridge the Unseen. And tonight, like I said, is going to be all about manifestation. It's not a secret. And if there's any topic at all that in the future you would like me to discuss or talk about, please let me know that. All right. And if you're new to me, I see already a few new people. You can't see the video, Will. Is anybody else having problems seeing the video? I see myself. So let me know. Hi, Charmaine. How are you? Let me know if you can see the video or if you're having any problems. Hi, Dale. How are you? Yes, thank you. I hope you can stay for a little while. Kirsty, hi. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a little while. Tonight, though, Thursday nights are my Table Talk Thursdays. I hope you'll stay with us. I'm not doing psychic mini readings tonight. Those are on my Wednesdays as my regular scheduled, and sometimes I do last minute ones. That's why it's so important. All of you, make sure you're following and liking my Elyse Ann Psychic page. All right. But Kirsty, I hope you'll stay with us. It's manifestation. It's not a secret. That is what we are speaking about tonight. So maybe you'll stay with us and join along. So, Will, it seems like everybody else can see, so maybe it's your connection. Maybe go out and come back in. All right, so everyone that's here, I want to say thank you for being here this evening. I know Facebook is always lagging, but do me a favor, please. Go ahead and share this on your timeline publicly and or in any groups that you are part of. Invite friends, all the above. Okay, let's get hi, Kim. How are you? It's been such a long time. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, you can see now, Will. Okay, it was user error on your part. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here tonight, and we are talking about manifestation, like I said. Now, is it a big secret? Is it a secret? I know for how many. Thank you, Dale, for sharing. How many? I'm so sorry. I went 5 different places. How many of you, what was it? I don't even know how many years ago The Secret came out. And it was a big deal. And it made millions. And the truth of the matter is, it's not really a secret. I'm not begrudging or saying what they did was incorrect. It was absolutely, there was a lot to it. But from my perspective, I see it from the true sight of a psychic and doing manifestation myself. And so it's not such a big secret. It's just really working some steps. And the one thing that I had concerns about when The Secret came out that made me a little sad, because they made it seem like just do this and it's all easy and it happens. And I have to be honest, that to me was a little disheartening, because it's not, I get they were doing it for marketing purposes, but the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of people burned out fairly quickly because they were led to believe that, you just put it out there, boom, there it is. And there's just like nothing more. Okay, I want it. I believe, and that's it. But there's a lot more to it. And I think some people miss the boat because the way The Secret was marketed is, just do this and instantaneously things will occur. Now, yes, things can instantly manifest. I've done it myself. I've seen others do it. But as a whole, it takes some time and some work and some steps and some tools. So thank you, Natalie, for sharing. I so appreciate that. So I would like all of you that's here right now, just kind of sit back for a moment and think about what you're looking to manifest. Take maybe one or two really big things, let's say. Probably have a whole list. We all do. We have the higher priorities, the smaller things. Hi, Tina. How are you? And so I think I think, we all have really what it is we want to create. Thank you, Charmaine. So think about that for a minute. In your head, write down on a piece of paper, whatever. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to do that, because then I'm going to ask you a question after that. And so write down maybe a couple things that you're thinking you'd like to create in your life, in your world. And by the way, while you're doing that, I'm just going to let everybody know, I think next week we talked about it being meditation. So we'll see how this week goes and how much we covered and just where it all flows to. And then I'm really excited, though, because the week that I do the table talk on meditation, hi, Princess Sophia, right now my plan is to also walk all of you through a meditation, actually do a meditation during the live. I used to, in my workshops, I taught a lot of workshops, and I used to do guided meditations all the time. I used to guide, the participants through meditations, and I really loved it. It was a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so now that you all have kind of thought for a minute about, your big things and your little things, or a couple things that you really want to manifest. Now, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. Have your list right there with you or in your head. And after you release that breath, take one more. Breathe in really nice and deep. Breathe it out and just let everything kind of go and just relax. And when you look at those one or two things you're looking to manifest, what pops into your head right away? I'd be curious to know if any of you want to comment. What does pop into your head? Because I want to say I can almost guarantee that some of you were like, oh, really? I can't have that. Or what was I thinking? Or some sort of negative reaction, thought, words, feeling towards it. Okay, and it's not that you don't want it, but is it possible that you've been working on this for a very long time, and it's elusive, and you're ready to pull your hair out? That's possible. I've got one of those on my list. The truth. I like that, Princess Sophia. I can do it. All right, I like this. All right. Will, hard work, dedication, discipline. Okay, I like that. What I want to say, Will, and this is one that I still am working on, and I was told this a lot throughout the years. And Princess Sophia says manifestation works. I like that. The saying of hard work or life is hard or it's going to be hard. It doesn't have to be. I used to have an attitude that everything's tough, everything's hard, life is hard, and I had enough people who loved me enough to say, well, wait a minute, do you hear what you're saying? And so I've worked on shifting that. Have I completely shifted it? I don't think so, not quite yet. But I only bring that up because I know it's one of my little, I don't know if I want to say pitfalls, but I sometimes think about that. Charmaine, nothing, just blank and emptiness. All right, okay, that's good to know, though. That's a good thing to know. All right. So I like that several of you have commented about how you have positive thoughts, feelings, and ideas about it, right? And hi, Peggy, happiness with individually me. All right, I like that. So this is the thing. This is, I could go, there's a lot of steps to this. And so I kind of asked Spirit, we're hi Opal, where do we focus? I can't necessarily cover it all in an hour. There's a lot to it. And I want to focus right now on one of the, well, it's probably two of the largest obstacles that people run into. Thank you, Opal. Will, so are you saying take the hard work aspect out of my thought process? Yes, it doesn't have to be hard. Listen, I understand it. I still sometimes have that in my vocabulary, but it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. As human beings, we're programmed, right, to think it's hard. Oh, we got to work hard, and hard work gets you every. Well, yeah, it can and it does, but we don't have to believe that we have to work so hard all the time just to accomplish. So yes, I would work on taking that out of your thought process and your words verbally also. Just start, paying attention to it. So, all right. So one of the biggest, ask and let the universe how. That is a good point, and that is one of the points. Not the one I was necessarily going to talk about tonight, but it's true. Don't necessarily tell the universe how to deliver it. Now, I've talked about that a lot on and off in my lives and the readings. So I will address that, okay? And hold on one second. One second. All right. Just making a couple notes for myself. So let's talk about that for a minute because, maybe you hopefully have been reading my posts, like my channel card messages and, seeing my posts, listening to my lives, being, joining in on it. And a lot of what I do talk about is ask Spirit, like ask for a sign or ask Spirit for what you want. However, we are not to mire ourselves or get bogged down in the house. That's for Spirit to do. Because the thing is to remember is that our human minds cannot necessarily wrap our heads around all the miracles that Spirit can deliver. And when we start to tell them how we want it delivered, how we want it, we start to limit Spirit, they are limitless though. So asking the how or telling them how is really truly tying their hands or tying one hand behind their back, if you will, because they're limitless and they can deliver miracles. And so it can just bog up the system or make it much harder or longer for them to actually end up delivering it. So it's really important. Yeah, you just let the universe do the how. We just can hi Mary, we can just request it. Let's talk about surrendering and allowing, because I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in that and they work behind the scenes. Yes, they do. Spirit does a ton of work behind the scenes all the time. So let's talk a little bit about surrender and allowing. Be curious to know, Princess Sophie, it all boils down to patience. Sometimes, my nemesis. Okay, sometimes. It's not been one of my virtues in this lifetime, even though I've been tested over and over and over. Okay, anyhow. Yeah, patience, because quite frankly, it's going to be delivered when it's going to be delivered. It doesn't matter what we say, if we could beg, cry, whatever, plead, pray, but when it's supposed to, it'll be. So we do have to have patience the best we can. And Linda Lou says, I ask and turn it over and all. That's awesome. Opal, yes, thank you for the everyday uplifting quotes that you posted. Oh, you're welcome, Opal. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about surrendering and allowing. What? Let me ask you if you guys, a couple of you or a handful of you want to give me your best thoughts on what surrendering and allowing is about. Put it in the comments while I'm catching up on these comments here. Peggy says, you give me hope for positiveness and to push myself for all the right reasons. Aw, sweetheart. So glad. Listen, we have our days too. I'm a very positive person, and I have my moments, I have my days, and I'm just, just kind of chilling or whatever. But we always do our best. It's all that's really all we can ask of ourselves, right? So let's see. Princess Sophia says, my journey in that word. Oh yes, I know, darling, and patience in me just, I get it. So Will says, I'm currently still working on patience. I've gotten a centimeter better. I keep telling the universe that I'll focus on it and make a movement to be more patient. All right. I'm still working on patience. Yeah, that is tough. That is a tough one to have the patience and to let it go and to allow. But I'm going to make a note here because it's part of moving into what I was going to talk about. So I'm going to leave your comment, Will, there because we're going to focus a little bit more on it in a minute. Surrender the outcome and timing. Surrender is exactly that. Well, what does that mean to you, though? What does surrender mean to you? Like, I get surrender the outcome and timing, but what does surrendering the outcome and timing mean to you? Or, surrender is exactly that. What? Surrender? I give up. What does surrender mean to you? What does allow mean to you? I'd like to hear a couple comments. If anybody wants to share in their thoughts, I'd love to hear it. By the way, I want to take a minute as I see our numbers have gone up some. I want to say hello to everyone who's just joining us now. Thank you for joining us. This is Table Talk Thursdays, and I am Elyse Ann Psychic, the Psychic Liaison, Bridge the Unseen. And tonight is manifestation. It's not a secret. All right. Well, surrender to me means put it out of your mind, let go. All right. Yep. All right. So let me talk a little bit to hand it over to Spirit. That's surrendering. Okay, cool. I like that. Okay. Now what's allowing? Curious to hear what you have to say. Releasing the tension built up on the topic. Okay, I like that, Charmaine. I think that could go with it too. On surrendering, you're releasing. That's a giving up or letting go. That's a type of surrendering. I like that. I would say surrender. I send it to God. Okay, we're handing it over. Awesome. What about allowing? Curious to know what allowing would mean to all of you. Because quite frankly, let's see, Princess Sophia says, tell Spirit what we want, let the universe decide how, and stay grounded, live for today. I like that. Hi, Jenny. How are you? Welcome. Glad you're joining us. So let's talk about that for a minute, because the allowing is a very interesting thing. And let me see here. Peggy says, I've learned that I have to put in some effort of my own energies to accomplish a positive outcome for myself. Absolutely. When it comes to manifesting anything or creating anything, hi Martha, welcome. We are to meet Spirit halfway. We can't just say, hey, okay, I want this, and sit on the couch and do nothing and just wait for Spirit to deliver it. It doesn't really work. It doesn't work that way. We have got to be part of the equation, because Spirit will not deliver it otherwise. We have to do some of the work, so to speak. All right, so let me see. I got a few more comments here. Let's see. Charmaine, opening up heart and soul or third eye to new possibilities. That's allowing. Yes, I like that. Will says, allowing to me means accepting what is. Okay, I like that. Allowing Spirit to take the wheel, so to speak. Yep. Let it play out so the energy can flow. I like that. Okay. How many of you, though, let me ask you a question, because you're all correct, but how many of you get upset when a situation is different than what you want it to be? I'll raise my hand. Any of you? There's a reason I ask it. Because when we get upset in those situations, we're truly not allowing things to be what they are, always, all day. All right, you too. Yes, yes, most of us do. Right? Okay. Yep, yep, yep. I see all of you saying me, yeah, waving, and absolutely. Now, look, we have the human side of us, and some of the emotions are natural, and I'm not saying shut them down or don't have them. But this is what happens. If we spend that so much time, we can acknowledge it, acknowledge our emotions, and say, well, that isn't really what I really wanted. All right, but this is the deal. When we can stop for a minute and say, okay, I'm trying to come up with a really good example and I'm going blank. That's why I'm like, oh. Okay. I'm going to use, you probably have heard me use this analogy before. I'm going to use a little bit of a silly analogy. So you get upset. Let's say okay. This is a laptop, right? I'm on a laptop, okay? But I really want a chair, okay? And I can carry on about the fact that I want a chair, but I have a laptop instead. Or I can say, okay, I have a laptop. I'm going to allow my laptop to be, it's a laptop. And I am going to understand and allow that right in this moment, I don't have the chair. And I start to detach emotionally from it. Because when we get all caught up in the emotions and we get all upset, there's a lot of not so positive things that start to kind of fly out in the energy, right? So allowing really comes down to allowing things to be what they are, because they are. Be it physical things, be it a situation. Again, it's a little bit of a fine line. If we have our human emotions, let's allow them to run through and process them and release them. But we don't continue to keep getting angry over and over and over about the fact, let's say I don't have a chair, because it wastes all my time. I'm just allowing things to be the way they are. And so I'm detaching and taking all my energy out of fighting what is. Because that's what we end up doing. We end up fighting what is. Look, that's the human condition. I've done it a lot myself. But when I find myself doing that, I remind myself, okay, no, we're not going to fight what is, because it is. I mean, there was just no way of changing it. It is what it is, right? So we have to allow it. So we pull all of our energy, we detach from that, and then we can take and focus in the direction we want. So it's a bit of allowing things to be the way they are, and then surrendering means, again, they're kind of hand in hand, where we take the emotional hit out of it, or the emotional reactions, I guess, and connections. And it's kind of a funny thing, because lots of times this is why we have such a difficult time manifesting, because it's something we want so much that we keep digging in there, we keep going back in, or we keep getting emotional about it, or it didn't come yesterday, so we're going to give up, or we're going to cry, or we're going to whatever. Some of this happens with manifestation. So let me catch up here on some of these comments. So Will says, I used to, but I'm shifting my energy to not allow myself to get angry about things that don't work out the way I planned. Awesome. And a key to that for everyone is, when things don't work out the way we plan, instead of getting angry, and I know it takes a lot. Look, that's the human side, and I get it. But instead of allowing ourselves to get angry, it is what it is, so I get angry about it. And quite frankly, it didn't turn out the way you planned it, because it wasn't supposed to. And I don't mean just you, Will. I mean in general, to everybody, right? Everything's the way it's supposed to be. So, look, everything in life is about learning and growth and expanding the soul. And I have learned myself that no matter what is going on around me in my world, I have my human side, and I get my upset times, but then I pull back and I say, okay, you know what? This really upsets me. However, it is what it is. So I'm going to allow it to be what it is. And then I'm going to focus on how can I shift it, change it, or what have we. Okay. So Ginny says allowing. I just go do things I love and just play and have fun. I don't mind. I don't think about things too much when I'm focusing on joy. Very, very, I love that point there, Ginny, because that's an interesting way of looking at allowing, and that is part of the manifesting process. Manifestation needs energy, right? Everything is energy, so it needs to be fed energy, and we can choose what energy we feed it. If we have doubts, fear, shame, guilt, worthiness issues, it doesn't matter how much you put it out there and say, I want it, I want it, I want it. If deep inside you're feeling like I don't deserve it or I'm not worthy of it, you're countering all that energy. It can't get out there. So, and talking about your comment here about having fun and joy, well, that's a very high vibration. And what fuels manifestation is the higher vibrations, the love, the joy, when we're in the positive states, in the positive energies. Right? So it's a beautiful thing. It's part of manifesting, is allowing yourself to enjoy, to have fun, to focus on the happy. I think one of the things, actually I heard from Spirit right now, I talked about focus on the happy. Guys, look, life is life. But where do we focus, honestly? And I was saying ignore the stuff, but I'm also, how much time are you spending? Are you spending time on beating your head, up against the wall? This is the way it is. Oh my gosh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm so angry. I'm so upset. Da, 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 da. Do you overdo that? Do you go past the part where you're really processing and releasing and you just continue because that's the pattern? Or do you then get through your emotions and say, okay, not loving it, but now what can I do to create something different? All right, so let me go through some of these comments. Let me catch up. Princess Sophia, I was not really happy with what I was given, but Spirit knows best, and now I'm so happy with the choice. Absolutely. Tony, and I'm going to use that laptop to buy the chair? Do you mean sell the laptop? Smarty pants. All right. Peggy says, when it happens, it usually for my learning and growth, so I need to step back and allow learning. Absolutely. Opal, you just have to pray about it. Well, I agree. And it's interesting because pray. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome. Prayer to people can be misunderstood. Some people hear the word prayer and they're adverse because they feel it might be religious. And yes, there is religious prayer. But I say prayers all the time, but it's in the space and from the place of spiritualism, not religion. So when we pray in the spiritual world, when we're praying, it's usually our prayers are all, even religious prayers, but all prayers is worked into, it's really about manifesting, isn't it? Because we're asking for things or situations to be cleared or people to be cleared. So when we think of it that way, and you think about prayer, think about a beautiful, peaceful, uplifting space of positivity and positive words and positive energy, right? So when you think about that, when you go to pray, and just the place you get into and the space you get into and your demeanor and your energy and your feeling, okay, think about that as the same as the environment in many ways that you want to create when you manifest. Same energy. It's very uplifting. You don't sit there and say, I hope you don't sit there and say to the angels, if you do like a religious prayer when you pray, well, I pray that, I'm just going to pick on it, I pray that Joey is healthy, but only if he deserves it. No, we don't do any of that, do we? Just put it out there, right? So that's where we get in our own way too, because whether we realize it or not always, but lots of times, even if we're not consciously having the thoughts about worthiness and so forth, lots of times that energy can flow on a hidden level or subconscious level. And so it's about, working with yourself or working with a professional or somebody, a friend or whatever, somebody that can help you kind of start to come into realization. Now, some of you know it's part of the work I do one-on-one is Spirit utilizes me to see what's blocking people from moving forward and creating what they want in their life. So, or like I said, you can work with your own spirit team, whatever, but I am available if you have any interest. So I'm just letting you know that it's a lot of the work that I do. And I've walked this path on a personal level too, quite frankly. And I'm still discovering here and there things that, like, really, I didn't know that was there. Ouch. So it's just a work in progress. So, okay. So Natalie says, oh, that's hard to do. Are we talking about letting go? I'm not sure. I'm so sorry, Natalie. I'm about 5 minutes behind on my comments. So, Linda Lou says, if you wait a minute or two, this too shall pass. It's a saying. Yes. It's lots of times true. I can't say every single time that's true, but I know what you're trying to say, and it's true. Sometimes it's just about letting us. Okay, sorry, I'm putting it into context now. Letting ourselves just sit for a moment and breathe. That's, I believe, what I think you're trying to say here is, instead of just going ballistic or really overreacting, just kind of breathe through it and let it pass, right? So, all right, Princess Sophia says, if plan A doesn't work, tweak it instead of giving up. Let's talk about that giving up a little bit. I'm gonna make a note here because I would like to talk about that. And then let me look at some of the other comments. So here, I can't never give up on what I want, so I keep digging. All right, Natalie, I like that. Jeanette says, I completely agree. If it's not meant to be, it won't happen, and we have to accept it. I always say it is what it is. Yes. Charmaine, self-worth plays into it too then. Yes, absolutely, sweetheart. Self-worth, self-value, self-love, all of it, self-acceptance. Because okay, I'm going to address this right now. If we are out there with an energy of, this is what I'm desiring, this is what I'm asking for, I would like this to be delivered, right? That's our manifestation. The nuts and bolts, okay, right? That's the energy we're putting out there. However, what's the other energy that we're putting out there? Are you sitting there saying, well, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm a bad person, or I did this, or I made a mistake, or this is what is really important to start paying attention to. Because no matter what you ask for, if you don't feel worthy and deserving, you're throwing out this energy and then you're negating it with this other energy, and now we've squashed the whole thing. Now, I'm not saying all this to get you frustrated or, oh my gosh, it's just step by step. And I'm not saying nothing can be delivered. It's people wonder why. And this is what, I started at the beginning of this talking about The Secret when they came out and how it was a whole, there was a lot of good information, but it was a big marketing thing. And I was very disheartened because I knew a lot of people would give up because they put it out there as if, just be positive and just ask for it and you're good. And there's so many other pieces to it. And it made me sad because manifestation really is a beautiful tool when you can work it and work it well. So it's just about starting for you to look at, what is your belief system about self? Because that all goes into the manifestation. If we don't feel worthy, we may be saying we want it, but we're not feeling it. So there's a huge disconnect, right? So, okay, Natalie says, I'm not upset, but never let go. All right, cool. Princess, so you can make money from the laptop. No, I can't, because then I can't do my lives with you guys, like my mini readings and my psychic reading lives and stuff to buy the chair. You guys are too funny. Okay, I knew it. I'm like, this is a ridiculous example, but use it anyhow because I got the best supportive followers. Cough, cough. No, I'm just kidding. When I get my new chair, I'm going to hold it up right in front of me. Okay, anyhow. You guys are great. I love it. Hey, his gift. Welcome. Glad you're joining us. right, Ginny says, when I was taking care of my husband, things we needed just showed up as we needed them. I understood I wasn't alone, and everyone was in shock at how calm I was. Beautiful. But I just focused on being thankful in everything and appreciated the moments. Absolutely. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. A gratitude attitude. Yes, I love it. Okay. I felt peace, and it was well with my soul by simply releasing control and being love in everything I could. We just made the best of it. He's been gone for 5 years now, but we were so blessed. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jenny. So sorry, sweetheart. I know it's, 5 years. It's still probably like yesterday at times for you. So my condolences and lots of love to you. But gosh, Jenny, you really said so much in your comment. So much truth, because you detached. Your example is, I just said this is what we need, and then I just let it be, and I just focused on being in gratitude every day and being thankful for what I do have. And that is another piece of manifestation and creation. To appreciate what we do have. Let's be grateful, because that is a higher vibration. The more gratitude we get put out there for everything that we have, everything we've experienced, even if it's not the fun stuff, the more we're saying to Spirit, hey, thank you. I'm blessed. I'm open to receiving. I'm appreciating this. And the more they can deliver. All right. So, but the big part of what Ginny's comment talks about too is she detached. I know I said that a moment ago. I acknowledged it, but I want to bring it up again. She detached. And that's another piece of manifestation. And it took me a lot of years. Because, okay, manifestation, you gotta put it out there and let it be. You can still give it energy and still think about and visualize the end result, or, what your outcome you would like it to be. But the thing is, don't do what I did for years. I don't do it anymore. I only laugh because it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was like a compulsion, so I get it. I understand it. Don't keep digging up the seed once you plant it. How's it doing? I wonder if it's growing. Does it need more water? Well, needing more water, yes, you should check. But, when we plant a seed in the ground, we don't every other day dig it up to see if it's growing or how it's doing, right? Because we totally demolish it and it's space, right? So when we put those things out there, it's okay to continue to give it energy and give it the energy of what you still would like to create. But be careful you don't go into the space of, how come, why not, where is it? What? I'm looking. Okay. How? What? How are you going to do it? Why? That's where we start digging up the seed. We might as well throw it out at that point, because, when it seeds, once they started to germinate and grow, and if we dig them out, they're not going to make it usually. So I know it's a little dramatic when it comes to talking about manifestation, but it's the same concept in many ways. So, manifestation, once you get the hang of it, usually once you do it more and more, it starts getting easier and easier and easier. However, we still have our human side, right? We get very emotionally attached. So, that's the trick too. That's, like I said, we have to detach from it, or we're just going to mess it up, because we're going to keep putting our energy in it instead of handing it off to our spirit team. We're going to do our steps on planet Earth to create, but then we have to give them the energetic piece and let them create. All right. So Opal says, my whole life has been the negativity. I'm trying very hard to get to spirit taking over. You know what, Opal? I was raised on negativity. I was fed a diet nonstop of negativity. Okay. So I get it. And what I want to say to you is, and to everyone, because you guys, I talk about this stuff a lot from my own personal path too. Not just the work I do professionally as a psychic, but I have done a tremendous amount of healing I am a thriver. We don't use survivor anymore. We use thriver. But I have a history, and I came from, everything was, the glass wasn't even half full. It was an eighth full, if even. Okay, that's the kind of background I had. And I still fall into negativity. There are certain areas in my life that I can notice that I might have a certain reaction more negatively. But as a whole, I am pretty much a fairly positive person, and I've worked it. Okay, so I'm only saying this to all of you because we are fed a constant diet of negativity just by society, let alone your own personal upbringing, what it may or may not have been. Okay, so this is so natural, instinctive in some ways for us that we really have to work it, but it is possible to overcome it. I'm a pure example of that. So I just want to share that with you. All right, so okay. Charmaine said, that's what I keep doing. I'm having the worst time with my self-worth now. I understand that, Charmaine. And let's talk about self-worth. And I do want to talk a little bit. I know we're going to get back to the giving up before the end of this, because I do want to talk about that. I think kind of I intermingled it. But hold on one second. I'm just making a note here just to remember to talk about that. Okay, so self-worth. It is tough because there too we're indoctrinated in a world of negativity, and we're always everything's brought to us from the negative side of things. I mean, just to be honest, and it can really ding our self-worth. This is the thing that hopefully you can hear, and everybody can hear really clearly. And you may not, all of you may not believe it right now, but the more you can repeat this to yourself, it's like retraining your brain, and all of a sudden the programming is going to be different, and you're going to hear this over and over. Instead of I'm not worthy, you will start to hear it because you're going to say it to yourself over and over. You'll start to assimilate it and believe it. It'll permeate every cell of your being, and then you will become, okay? I am a divine being, and therefore inherently, divinely self-worth. Okay, that didn't come out quite clear, but you get the gist of what I was trying to say. I missed a word or two there. All of a sudden I'm like, are we missing a couple words? All right, so I am of the divine. Okay, I am pure divinity, and therefore worthy of all. Because the truth is, we all are of the divine. We all are of the universal energy. And every single one of us is we are very worthy of anything and deserving of anything we desire. I sometimes will say to people, so there's 3 billion or whatever people on this planet. What, are you the only one who's not deserving or worthy? Because lots of times we can look at almost everybody else and say, oh, they're worthy, they're deserving, but not me. Think about it. Why not? We're all divine beings. That makes you inherently worthy and deserving. Okay, so hopefully that helps each and every one of you. Okay. Opal says, my whole life I never took care of myself. I didn't either for the longest time. It's never too late to start. Okay? Whatever life we might have left, we might as well make it the best, the most loving, the most uplifting, and the most beautiful, peaceful, joyful that we can, right? Why miss out on the time you have left to be in that space? And let me tell you, when you can hit that space, oh, life is beautiful. Even when stuff's flying, woo! You're just like, life is beautiful. Not that I stick my head in the sand, but I handle things so much differently and so much easier, and it doesn't take me down like it used to. So there's a lot of things there for it that'll help. Okay, Princess Sophia says, oh wait, Linda Lou says, that's what I do. I say to myself, this too shall pass, and go about other things. For instance, for about 2 weeks, been asking for a way to create more money. I think I asked, let it go, and today 2 new website clients showed up. Awesome. Exactly. You ask, you put it out there, and you release it. You let it go, you surrender it, and then you keep doing your work. Okay, you put up ads, you did whatever, you put more stuff on your Facebook page, you worked on your website, you put out an email, whatever it was, and then you just, Spirit takes that energy, you do the physical, and they take the energy of all of it, and then they put their part into it. Okay, so Princess Sophia says, no, Elyse, the laptop can... Princess Sophia, I love you. Okay, that's what she says here. You're cracking me up. No, Elyse, the laptop can be used for business to buy the chair, like selling what you don't want, for example. That's what I thought Tony was saying. Guys, you're so funny. I'm getting there, you guys. Okay, I just moved into my new place. I gotta, what's the word? I gotta do it in waves. I can't do it all at once. Darn, I'm gonna get that new chair. Okay, so his gift. All right, how do we know the names of our spirit guides, or is that something they want us to know? All right, his gift, that's a little bit off topic, but I will answer it for you. Ask them what their names are. Get in a quiet place, get in a meditative space, and ask them. And that is something that, if you want to know, absolutely. There's nothing that says that you can't or that they won't. All right? All right. So, Princess Sophia, the major thing that I manifested took over a year. Why? All right. Well, okay. That's a little bit with the giving up that we talked about. Or do you need a chair? Are you selling a laptop or do you need a chair? Well, you guys are... Actually, I need a new office chair is what I need. This one's not doing so well, but I love it. It's so comfortable. I'm hesitant to get rid of it, but I am going to have to replace it eventually. So, yeah, I really do need a chair eventually. So there's the answer to that burning question that everybody... All right, in the meantime, I love it, you guys. All right, Princess Sophia. All right, so giving up, the manifestation for a year. Okay, I want to go back a little bit to the giving up. The one thing I want to say is, because believe me, some of this stuff I've been doing for years, and I'm still... Someone quite manifested. I manifested, but it didn't come out the way I thought, so I'm kind of starting over. Tony, don't laugh. Tony knows about it. We're not gonna talk about it. Anyhow, but this is the thing. Listen, just like you guys, there are days I'm like, really, Spirit, I just give up. Like, what else? Like, this has been going on. Like, why? Right? Okay, I'm human. And when I say, I'm just going to give up, I'm just, you know what, that's it. And then I stop myself and say, okay, Elyse, you can't do that. You just can't. Why? Because it might be literally in the next 10 seconds it's going to show up. You're never going to know. So when you feel like giving up, just remind yourself, it could be in the next 5 minutes it could show up. You just don't know. Now, as a general umbrella answer to your question, Princess Sophia, about the major thing that you manifested took over a year, why? I'm addressing this for everybody, not your situation in particular. A lot of it does have to do... Hey, Frankie, how are you? A lot of it does have to do with our emotional attachment. And it's tough, you guys. It can be really tough. I'm not here to kid you. That's why there's something I haven't been able to do, because I'm so emotionally involved in it. Still am working on detaching. I'm getting closer and closer to detaching from it. But, yeah, because we weren't ready. It wasn't ready. It wasn't the divine timing. It wasn't the divine order. You truly didn't detach from it. You were too emotionally involved. You kept digging it up. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons I could give you. All right. They're all surmountable, though. They're all things that can be overcome. All right, but that's how I would answer that. How do you leave the past in the past? You know what, Opal? All right, there's a book called Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Colin Tipping, Colin. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. Tipping. He talks about the earthly plane, things from the perspective of the physical earthly plane, and then the spiritual plane. And it was one of the books I read a lot of years ago. And let me tell you, it made a difference for me, because it made me realize that there are two purposes to everything we experience. The physical and the spiritual. And sometimes leaving the past in the past is about understanding there's nothing you can do to change it, right? And it just is what it is. And instead of begrudging it or going, oh my gosh, how about looking at it and saying, okay, why did I go through that? As sucky as it was, why? And lots of times that can allow us to, there's a purpose to it. even if it was lousy in the moment, there's a purpose to get you further along your path. So sometimes when we can just look at things from that perspective and understand that no matter how lousy it was, how hurtful, how painful, whatever it was, there was a reason. And quite frankly, it is the past. You cannot change it. We cannot change the past, period. End discussion. So going over it and going over it and going over it and getting stuck in it and going over it and going over it, it's a waste of energy. You can review it to get your pearls out of it, your gems out of the situation. But, look, guys, a lot of my shifting I've done a lot of self-talk. I do a lot of self-talk. Not as much as I used to. I mean, I still do some. I'm so much further on my path that I don't need to do nearly anywhere near as close. But, I mean, I used to constantly, and now it's here or there. So it can be done. So, okay, very true. Soon as you said detach, it came within months. Okay, cool, Prince Sophia. That must have been through one of the, private one-on-one sessions or mini readings that I did for you. Very cool, very cool. Work on releasing the emotional part of it. Yeah, and it's hard because it's something we really, really want. I get it. I do. I get it. It's a little... That, again, these are not... Look, you may get it like that, but I have to be honest. Being the human condition, these can be very tricky. Okay? And again, that's why, listen, if you watch The Secret, you have the book, you have the video, whatever it is, great information in there. Just don't take it as an instantaneous. Because they kind of marketed it as if you just do this, 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 and this, and you're good. So much more involved. Especially because we have all of these things flowing on the subconscious level that we're not even aware of, that's counterproductive to us manifesting. And that's why coming into awareness of some of this is really important. All right. I have to do that now because everyone has passed away in my whole immediate family. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. But yeah, you know what, Opal? You can have a conversation with them through the ethers. You can talk to those that have crossed over. Express what you want to express. I think that's the biggest part for you. I think you need to express. I can feel it stuck in here. Not that I'm trying to do a reading, but Spirit pushed it through so strongly. Tells me you absolutely had to be told this tonight. You need to get it out. You need to speak it out loud. You need to write it, whatever it is, communicate it. I'm going to say, write it down on paper. You can verbally say it as you're writing it, and then burn those papers, release it. Okay. Peggy says, my biggest struggle is putting to me, I get feeling guilty, so it is hard. Let me address that for a minute. It's like a laptop, Will, I'm telling you. Okay, that was from before. Okay. There are times, I've struggled a lot in my life. A lot of us have, okay? And there came a point, the last year for me has been actually, things are really happening and are very good, and I'm grateful. My reach is growing, my business is growing, I'm able to help more and more people. So I was in a pretty darn, uplifting mood, even with COVID, and I started feeling, well, should I don't know, and I thought, wait a minute, I should not feel guilty that things are going well for me now. I can feel for others that are struggling, but I struggled for a majority of my life, and guess what? That was my turn to struggle. This is my turn now to have things easier for me. So I don't feel guilty about it, because I'm not going to judge what Spirit puts in my presence or what they'll put in other people's presence. We all have our season, if you will. All right, so I just want to say that because I understand that, but I grappled with that a little bit too, and I absolutely feel for all the struggles. I can't say it's been a bowl of cherries for me this whole year, but overall I felt very good about it, and I did. I stepped in that for a moment and said, gosh, so many people are struggling. I'm like, no, I went through, I won't tell you how many decades of struggle. It's my turn, so it's okay, so don't feel guilty. Okay. Natalie says, I have a question. I daydream a lot on the future that I would like and really believe. Then ask the Spirit, is it a kind of manifestation? Always wondered. Yes, it can definitely be a type of a manifestation. Absolutely. Tony started it. You guys, I know I'm about 5 minutes behind, but we know Tony started it. Would we expect anybody else? No, I'm just kidding. We love Tony. Tony, I love you. Okay, we need to release the need for a chair because it might break on the live then. I needed these laughs tonight, you guys. This is great. Okay. Princess Sophia says, I bought a book on manifestation. It was not worth the read, but then you told me a few words to add and it works. Awesome. I'm glad I could help you with that, sweetheart. Opal, you're so right. I never had a voice. Yeah, honey, I felt it really strongly, sweetheart. And again, you guys, this is not a psychic mini reading, but every once in a very, 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 very blue moon, Spirit will push something through so strongly. I know I have to say it. I'm the liaison. And so Spirit and I understand each other, so it's very cool. But yeah, thank you. Will Rush, absolutely your time to shine. Thank you, sweetheart. I really do appreciate it. So, all right. Let me see here. We are actually rounding the corner. We're in the last 5 minutes here. Anybody else have a question or something they want to share real quick? I think we did the topic pretty good justice tonight. I think we carried a lot. We talked about, we conversed about a lot of different bits and pieces. I mean, this alone could be a 4-hour workshop. I've done manifestation workshops, so I tried to, cover some of the highlights for you. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged. 3:55 a.m. and worth the while staying up. Awesome, Princess Sophia. I'm glad you stayed with us. It's a very worthwhile process. What I want to say, I think, to all of you, well, what Spirit wants me to say, because I heard them. Maybe for some of you, instead of starting like, no, don't go. Maybe for some of you, if you're just beginning or you're just learning this, you can have those big things out there if you'd like, but I would also start working on small things. Because what's going to happen is you start to get, you're not going to be as emotionally attached, number one, which is going to be much easier for you to stay detached from the outcome, okay? You'll start to get to work it. You'll start to get to recognize where maybe you step in or you have certain thoughts that are stopping the process. All right, start with something small. Pick something small and see how you can work it. Again, I'm not saying don't look at the bigger things or don't have that working too. Absolutely, have it all working. But it might help you to get more of a feel. Because if all you're doing is reaching for the big, the big ones, it's going to be a little tougher and you may get more discouraged. So try some smaller things along the way and see. And then you'll start to see how you're working it and how Spirit's understanding you and what's showing up and what you did and how you did. And you know what I'm saying with it. And start to hone it and start to work with it. All right. Will says, I'm so glad you're back. And well, can't wait to see what the future has in store for all of us. I was going to say, but you said for us all. And that's why I fell over the words. So absolutely. Saying lots of prayers. So to each and every one of you, thank you for being here this evening. Just want to let you know, next week, let's get the word out. Let's get my numbers up on this, guys. Let's get the word out. Maybe invite your friends to the event, even in advance. I have my events posted, so maybe, send some of your friends an invite to some of my lives. That would be so awesome. But next week, we're going to do meditation. And I am going to do some sort of meditation within the live also. So be prepared for that. Do your best to be in kind of a quieter place if you can, where you can kind of relax and sit back and just kind of get into the meditation. So I'm looking forward to that. I used to do meditations in my workshops a lot, and I miss it. So very, very, very fun. Okay, so Princess Sophia says, I'm manifesting for my grass to go back. To go back, okay? And thank you. Have a great weekend and be safe. You too, Opal. I may be doing a live, you guys. I don't know. Toying with it. I gotta see, so just pay attention. Maybe at a very different time than normal. I'm not sure if I can stay up that late, but we'll see. I'm toying with it. All right. You're welcome, Princess Sophia. So appreciate you too. May God bless and keep you all. Absolutely. How exciting. Can't wait. Awesome. Thank you for saying all that. I need to hear that. You're welcome. Each and every one of you. Much, much love. Don't forget, share, invite your friends to follow and like my page. I am getting a lot closer to that 1,500. Remember, I got my 1-year celebration coming up, my Facebook page launch July 4th. And if I hit 1,500 followers before then, I'm going to make it an extra special celebration. I really don't know what it's going to be yet, but let's make it extra special. It's going to be special anyhow. Let's go ahead and work for making it extra special. Invite your friends to my page. You know, I just did that. I just invited my list of friends because I have a profile. And yeah, it was nice. Quite a few. My numbers went up. So do it, help me out. All right, guys, that's it. Love you all. Lots of love. Blessings. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, depending upon where you are in the world. We're going to see you all very, very soon. And don't forget, make sure you're signed up for my email list off of my homepage and my website, because July 1st is coming around the corner, and every month I send out exclusive for my email list 3-card channel message. And if you are subscribing to that and you're not getting my emails, please check your promotions folder in Gmail. Gmail tends to like to take these type of emails and shove them in there, and I know they get lost. So much love, many blessings, sleep well, sweet dreams, have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing. I'll see all of you real soon again. Thanks. Bye, guys.